Kwame Nkrumah was a prominent political figure and a significant leader in the struggle for the independence of Ghana and the wider African continent. He is celebrated for his role as a Pan-Africanist, ideologue, and the first Prime Minister and President of Ghana. Here's a brief overview of his life history. Early life, birth and education. Kwame Nkrumah was born on September 18, 1909, in Nkroful, a village in the Gold Coast, which is present-day Ghana. He was born into the Fante ethnic group and grew up in a modest background. After completing elementary school, Nkrumah moved to Accra to continue his education. He attended Akamoda School, where he developed a strong interest in politics and social issues. He later went to the United States in 1935 to pursue his studies at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. There, he earned a degree in sociology and became inspired by the teachings of figures such as W.E.B. Du Bois and Marcus Garvey, which shaped his political beliefs. Early political career. Return to the Gold Coast. After completing his education, Nkrumah returned to the Gold Coast in 1947. He became involved in the nationalist movement against British colonial rule. Nkrumah joined the United Gold Coast Convention, which was one of the first political parties advocating for independence. Formation of the CPP. In 1949, Nkrumah broke away from the UGCC due to ideological disagreements and founded the Convention People's Party, CPP, which was more radical and called for immediate independence. Nkrumah's populist approach appealed to many, and he became a prominent figure in the struggle for independence. Road to independence. Imprisonment and popularity. In 1950, Nkrumah was arrested for organizing protests against colonial rule and was imprisoned. During his imprisonment, he gained massive support among the populace, and his calls for independence resonated widely. Independence. The Gold Coast achieved self-government in 1951, and Kwame Nkrumah became the leader of government business. Following the first general elections held in 1951, his CPP won a majority. In 1957, Ghana became the first African nation to gain independence from colonial rule, and Nkrumah became its first prime minister. Leadership and policies. Vision for Ghana. Nkrumah envisioned a united and modern Africa. He initiated numerous social and economic reforms, focusing on education, infrastructure development, and industrialization. His policies led to significant developments, including the construction of roads, schools, and hospitals, and he emphasized the importance of self-reliance. Pan-Africanism. Nkrumah was a strong proponent of Pan-Africanism and believed in the political and economic unity of Africa. He hosted several Pan-African conferences and provided support to liberation movements across the continent. He played a significant role in the founding of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, in 1963. Disillusionment grew among the populace as living conditions worsened. Coups and exile. Nkrumah's increasing authoritarian rule and suppression of dissent led to unrest. In February 1966, while he was on a state visit to Vietnam and China, Nkrumah was overthrown in a military coup led by the National Liberation Council. He went into exile in Guinea, where he continued to promote Pan-Africanism. Later years and legacy. Final years. In exile, Nkrumah wrote several books and continued to advocate for African unity until his health deteriorated. He became an advisor to the Guinean government. Death. Kwame Nkrumah died on April 27, 1972, in Bucharest, Romania, after battling cancer. His body was repatriated to Ghana, where he was given a state funeral and buried in Accra. Legacy. Kwame Nkrumah's legacy is complex. He is hailed as a visionary leader who played a crucial role in the fight against colonialism and for Africa's independence. However, his authoritarian tendencies also draw criticism. Today, he is recognized as one of the most influential figures in the history of modern Africa, symbolizing the aspirations and challenges of post-colonial governance. His ideas continue to influence discussions on African unity and development,